Welcome to Bella in Your Business. My name is Bella Vasta, and today I've got Olenka Cullinan with us. You guys are going to love this one. Olenka is actually the CEO and founder of I Start First. She empowers women to level up their businesses via online boot camps, I Start Women's First Summit, and delivering keynotes and workshops for companies nationwide and globally. She also developed this backbone of success method that I'm sure we're going to talk about today. She's worked globally combined with humor and personal experience. She is such a kick in the butt kind of girl. She's actually who I call when I need a kick in the butt. And she's been a TEDx speaker, not once, but twice. Yeah, so get ready. We're in for a treat today. Olenka, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited with this intro. I need like fan to blow my hair. I'm all ready.
Absolutely. And you guys, if you're listening to the podcast, if you see the video of this, you'll see that Olenka has this hot pink in her branding, and even her microphone muff is this like hot pink microphone. And it's adorable because don't let like the pink fool you, because she is a bad
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Don't let the pink and the blonde and the accent fool you.
Tell us about that accent. Why don't you give us a little bit of an origin, because as our listeners get to know you over the next 25 minutes or so, I'm sure they're going to try to pinpoint where that accent's from. So where are you from?
Yeah, for sure. It's not from Texas. I actually was born and raised in Russia and moved to the US right before I turned 21. But I got really privileged. My mom was a diehard entrepreneur, and I took it for granted for the longest time. But in reality, she gave me all the skills. I sort of picked them up involuntarily because she was running her company build it from scratch really, and ran it for 37 years. So when I was 14, 15 years old, I would travel with her all over Europe, negotiating $1 million contracts, walking into a room full of men, and I never was intimidated. So it definitely gave me a huge, head start in my own business. And moving here, I literally borrowed $450 from my uncle and decided to take a chance on the American dream, and all worked out.
I love that. Right there, we could end the podcast. If you could build what you've built, which we're going to talk about today, off of just starting with $450, whoo, girl. One of the things that I love about you is that you're a woman who takes action. And I always tell my audience and my listeners that, you have to, like birds of a feather flock together. You have to keep people that you want to be like around you. And that's one of the reasons why you and I get along so well. But I want you to tell our listeners more about action and what holds business owners back from taking action, do you think? I mean, you coach so many of them. I'm sure this is something that you see a lot.
Oh, for sure. And it's everything. It's kind of like what you attributed to me, which is starting with $450. A lot of times we hold back from starting our businesses because the circumstances are not right? Because we don't have the perfect layout, because we don't know exactly what we want to execute. But you see, that's how the backbone of success method was born, because I always said, you just got to start. No people who are out there are uber successful, and you and I know plenty of them, don't have a full-on idea when they started executing their business. I mean, when Apple started, nobody knew that Apple is going to be Apple, right? It started from the garage, just like everybody else. So if you just start putting one foot in front of the other, if you basically take that action, because for me, one, starting is just as important as success. And two is, if you don't act, if you just keep executing, I always say you can't you can't outwatch and outread yourself into success. I don't care how many.
That's really good.
Yeah. I don't care how many YouTube videos you watch, how many, Bella in Your Business podcast episodes you listen to. If you don't apply anything, it's pointless, right? Yeah. No books, like you and I are both coaches. We know that we can give our clients the best strategies and techniques and the best plans. But if we don't go execute them in that messy, imperfect version, they're never going to have results.
That's beautiful. And I imagine that's how you came up with the name of your company, I Start First.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a little bit, serendipitous, because it started out just as a hashtag. I didn't really plan to build a business out of it. I was just super inspired because I would go into rooms, full of businessmen, or I would go into investment meetings and see that it was always 80 to 20 men to women split ratio. So for me, it was like, if I'm not going to teach more women how to play bigger and show up in their full power than who will. And one of my friends actually said, well, don't you start first? And I was like, I start first. And so it started with a hashtag, women caught on to that. It kind of turned into that movement where they kept saying, what else do you have? And that's the reason behind it. I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to start. And so the birth, it gave boot camps the birth, and then the event happened, and then it just kind of all unfolded in the process.
It just snowballs, and you just started all of them. And I really love what you said, because we talk a lot on the podcast about how you have to, in fact, last podcast we did about how you should only be in competition with yourself, right? And you can only outdo yourself. Yeah. And it's very poignant, like how you can't really outread or outlearn, right? Like there comes a point where it's just plateauing. And so if you feel like your business is at a plateau right now and you're ready for the growth stage, really think about this concept. I mean, it seems pretty trivial and rudimentary in a way, but it's actually pivotal. And it's the thing that separates the people that are successful from the ones that are stagnant or not successful. So, okay, great. We know that we have to start, but I have to do a lot of preparation, and I am a perfectionist, and I need everything to work out exactly the way it should. And I need to know where I'm going to jump and when I'm going to execute that parachute and all that other stuff. Olenka, why do people get stuck in that, like in that preparation phase? Why can't they just start? Like, what holds us back in that preparation stage?
Well, most times it's a couple of things. It's your limiting beliefs. And, we all know you can't outwin your own glass ceiling, right? You can't jump more than your beliefs. You can't jump higher than your own beliefs. So that's something that's usually one of the factors. And then it's fear, right? It's fear or insecurity. And you start comparing yourself. And before you know it, you're like, oh, somebody else is already doing it. Why should I do it? They're probably going to do it better. So you start feeding into that fear, and it's just like a muscle, right? I mean, stepping into that action is like a muscle. And I always, first of all, when I coach, like I use this technique, I call it 90 seconds of courage. And I say, whatever you are scared of doing, do it for 90 seconds, because you'll never be at the same level of fear anyways or anymore. And so you can literally set up your alarm. So if you're a business owner and you're listening and you know something that's holding you back right now, that's the very thing you need to start doing. I always say that the best way to deal with perfection and fear is massive action. And I mean, it's massive and it's messy, and you just step into that and you do it anyways, right? Basically, especially with women, we often get so emotional. So if you're a woman business owner who is listening, I don't care if you cry, cuss, get frustrated, get angry, break things, and you do it anyways, because here's the reality of things. Like Bella would, I'm sure, back me up on this. Whatever you do, it's never going to be great the first time. So you just have to admit that, accept
get it over
that,
with.
Right?
Get it over with. Time over with. So
exactly.
On to greatness.
Absolutely. And you step into that, and that's where you go. Perfection is not a human quality. It's always going to hold you back. And the only way to overcome it is massive, massive action.
That is so beautiful. I really love when you said that it's someone else, I can't do it because someone else is already doing it. The whole point is like, there's really not that many new ideas out in the world, right? It's all about knowing yourself or your business well enough to put your own spin on it, so that it isn't like what other people are. So if that resonated with you guys, I want to like push your mind just a little bit more and think, well, is it truly, are you really just doing something that someone else has done, which I would definitely discourage you from, because we don't want to be copycats or plagiarism or anything like that. But how can you put your own spin on it? And that answer takes a lot of self-reflection, right? And then I also saw this thing on TikTok, because I'm obsessed with TikTok right now. My listeners know this. And it was really, really cool. It was just a 1-minute video. And Olenka, I think you'd like this too. It has to do with our self-doubt and our belief. And it's a way to trick your brain. So you say things like, I can't blink, and then look at yourself in the mirror and start blinking. I can't jump. Look at yourself in the mirror and start jumping. So it's almost like you have these negative beliefs, but when your body actually does it, it overrides these negative beliefs. And it was so powerful. I hope I did it justice. Now, Olenka, I know that the next three, or the next thing that people are saying is like, well, yeah, that's great. And Olenka, you're just like a superwoman or superhero. And that's great that you start at $450, but that's not me. And I don't understand how to take $450 and make it into 6 figures, or 7 figures. So what are 3 things that business owners can do to boost their cash flow as soon as possible and to feel like they actually can or have skin in the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, if you don't understand how to take $450 and build what I built, congratulations, we're in the same place. Because when I started, I had no idea what I was doing most days. And there are plenty, yeah. And there are plenty of days now when I still don't. So, but when you look into,
Amen,
yeah, I mean,
listen to that truth, you guys. Listen
yes,
to that truth. Okay.
yes,
And
yes.
that's the really, I'm sorry, I'm cutting you
No,
off. That
you're
was
good.
it was a super good point though, because I don't think any of us ever we're at our first chapter and we can't see our 20th chapter, right?
That's right.
So you started with 450, but now looking back, your 20, dare I say 2020 perspective right now. Looking back, your perspective is I started with 450, but you didn't know that when you were starting. Back to you. Woo.
Nope. Yes. And another point, honestly, like here's the thing, and that's my personal perception. Anything I do in my business, and I hope this helps all of you, I always look at it as my chapter one. Because you see, the minute you get cocky and the minute you get snobby and the minute you start treating it like you got this is where everything starts falling apart. So you have to show up with that skin in the game. And I love that you brought up this point in the question. You have to show up with the skin in the game, knowing that this is your day one. This is your chapter one. You're playing all out just as much today as I was doing when I started. I'm still showing up just as much today. And to me, especially now, you know, I hear so many people going, oh, I don't have the cash flow. I don't know how to sustain my business. I know the world is upside down and everybody's struggling. But here's the thing. There's so many ways you can look at. It's not always, I'm going to give up, walk away and hide in my corner. So a lot of times, if you're struggling on cash flow, one obviously is figure out a new revenue stream, and it may be something completely off the wall. And a lot of times you have to go back to your clients and go back to your audience and find out what else do they need right now. Because I promise you, what they need today is nothing like what they needed 3 months ago. And Bella does marketing.
Hold up, wait a minute. Hold up, wait a minute. Is what you're saying that we're solving different problems today? Even though we have the same business and we have the same services, that we are solving different problems. I want that to sink in for you guys. And I want to talk about this online if you want to carry on this discussion a little bit, because that is probably one of the most pivotal and powerful things that you have said on this podcast. So dive into that for a second, because I don't want you to keep going and gloss over that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because here's the thing, the minute the world changes, you still have the same business. You still have your model at hand, but what you're solving for your audience, because any good business person knows that you're not building your business for you. You get the legacy. That's cool. But you're building your business for your audience. So the more you listen to them and the more you understand the problems that they're facing right now at this moment, the more you have discussions with them, questions with them. And it's become so easy. You have social media where you can literally post polls. You know, you can do surveys of all kinds of things that take 2 seconds. You can run focus groups that cost you no money. So that is absolutely 100% no excuse for you to not dive in with your audience head first and figure out what exactly they need. Because you see, I could sit here and thrive on the fact that I run events. Well, hello, as of 90 days ago, they don't exist.
Yeah.
So I had to go back to my audience and figure out what are they comfortable with? What do they want? What do they struggle with the most? How we can deliver these topics to them in a different avenue, for a different pathway, and make it a new revenue stream for the business, but you're solving their problem first. So I love the fact that you emphasize that so much. So that's, you know, that's cash flow number one, and that something you can start today with very little money. Second of all, stop competing. I mean, honestly, it's like, I love that Bella said that you only compete against yourself. That's really where you need to be. You need to have your blinders on, stop looking at social media, stop looking at everyone's pages and comparing their page 100 to your page 10, you know, but most importantly, collaborate. Find people you can collaborate with. You can sometimes drive a completely new audience and revenue into your business just simply by finding proper, smart, savvy collaborations that are going to be fun, that are going to become a win-win really for both of you. And that, again, doesn't cost you a lot of money.
Right. I
So
love that.
yeah. And then it's just, I mean, honestly, competition to me is such an old way of running business, especially
Mhm.
today. Like you and I know we can work globally from our pajamas. I mean, you guys don't even see it, but I'm just going to be straight up. Like I'm wearing workout shorts. I only look cute at the top. That's the beauty
Yeah.
of recording podcasts from your
Yeah.
house. And so, and third thing you definitely need to see as a, as a business owner, rather than like, I love the fact that we're all such good savers and we're smart and we're always looking at saving. But here's the thing, saving is never going to grow your business. I'm just going to be very direct about that.
Yeah.
Investing is what's going to grow your business.
And what is
Finding
investing? Why is it investing and not buying or a cost? Explain the difference.
Right, for sure, because investment brings returns, right? Buying is you exchange the cash, you exchange the energy, and it's out there in the universe, done one time. If
Mhm.
you're investing into something, just like if you invest in coaching with Bella or a program that she runs or a program that I run, it's revenue that's going to keep coming back. Investment is very different. It's forever. It's evergreen. It's no different than running evergreen programs where you figure out a way where you get that return over and over and over. And that's a very big difference.
Like you have so many good things to say, and I love it. And these are all very conceptual. As we kind of move towards the end, I would love for you to leave our listeners with some action steps that they can take, because I'm sure that they're either excited right now, overwhelmed, or I can guarantee a lot of us are stressed just because it is July 2020 right now. And so how can that stressful business owner take all this goodness that we just talked about and actually put it to actionable steps?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to actually, kind of dare / call out all of you. I only operate on one motto: in your face, but on your side. So I'm 100% on your side, rooting and winning for all, for all of you to win. But here's what I would challenge you to do for the next 30 days. I would challenge you that every day you get up, and if it's 30 days too overwhelming, I get that. A lot of you probably eye rolled right now going, I'm just thinking how I get through the next 2 days, Olenka, and you're talking about 30. So let's go easy. We'll do 7 days. So for the next 7 days, I'll challenge you to this. Every day you wake up, set up your timer for 90 seconds and do one thing that you don't want to do the most. It's like eat that frog, get that over with, do that call, reach out to that one customer, deal with that one partner who's, tough and you don't know how to address that. And then I really highly encourage you, talk to your audience, basically get out at least one survey or at least couple social media posts this week that are asking questions from your audience, what exactly their needs are today. And then I call it my dream 100 list. I would encourage you to find 100 people, and that's probably not going to happen in 7 days. So maybe find 10 people this next 7 days who you can collaborate with for your business, which would be a win-win for both of you, where both of you are starting to grow.
I love all of those so much, you guys. 90 seconds. And I just love it because it's training your brain, and it always starts off with tiny little things. Nick Trevelyan talked about that when he came on too, you guys. Are you seeing a theme? I also would love for you guys to go follow Olenka and let her know if you're going to do this 7-day challenge, and tag her every day. I'm sure she would love, like she said, in your face, but by your side. Oh God, I wish I thought of that. Like, that's amazing. Olenka, how can people follow you, to tag you, or to get your free ebook that I know that you have?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you go to istartfirst.com, the ebook is there for you. And it's literally about 5 very simple steps on how to start whatever you're, hesitant on doing. And then my name, Olenka Cullinan, everything on social media is under my name: the Facebook, the LinkedIn, the Instagram. I'm really big on Instagram. If you reach out to me directly, I absolutely will respond. It's not going to be a bot. It's going to be me. And then, yes, tag me. Would love to know everything you guys are challenging yourself for the next 7 days.
Awesome. So OlenkaCullin.com, that's OlenkaCullin. .com. I will also have that in the show notes for you guys. And we would love to hear what your biggest takeaway was. So wherever you found this podcast, or maybe you saw it on iTunes, go ahead and leave us a review. I would love to hear it and see it and know that you're out there listening and that this resonated, that the past half hour that Olenka and I have spent has somehow moved you into action in your life. You guys, life is very difficult right now, but you're doing the one thing that is feeding your brain and helping inspire you by listening to this podcast, and I'm sure many others, and audiobooks. Before we go, as this just snapped into my brain, Olenka, you have a podcast too now, don't you, girlfriend?
Yes, I
What is
do.
it called?
I Start First podcast. Super easy. I Start First, just so you find it and listen to it. And Bella made an appearance on that too. So you guys definitely dig out for that episode. We had some major, major gold moments there.
Awesome. Well, you guys, thank you so much for spending the past half hour or so with us. It is a true honor and pleasure for both of us. And remember that when life gets you down, always keep jumping.